St. Pete Beach Parks and Recreation Committee Advisory Committee meeting. Today is May 21st, 2024. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please.
Member Izzy?
Present.
Member Weiss?
Present.
Member Gibson?
Present.
Vice Chair Christman?
Yes, here.
We have quorum.
All right. So has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda and the minutes?
Yeah.
So could I have a motion, please, to approve the agenda?
Does anybody have anything to add?
Or anything you need to add?
I don't.
Make that motion.
I second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. We don't have any audience, so audience comments will go very smoothly today. Let's see.
I welcome it.
Yeah, a couple times the audience has nothing to do with this committee, so. Actually, I probably should have added this to the agenda, but I'd like to maybe have the new member introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. My name's Grant Izzy. Just recently retired out of the United States Air Force after about 40 years. I've been a property owner here in St. Pete Beach for a little over 3 years. We're finally able to live here now full time. So we made that final move in January. House is still not finished renovation, but we're getting there.
Good.
And,
You're welcome.
Yeah. So just volunteering, looking for things to do in my new home. So I'm a permanent resident. I'm not a snowbird.
There
So
you
I
go.
will be here
Yeah.
full
There
time.
you go.
Welcome.
If there's anything wrong
Welcome.
with that, I got friends that are like that. So I'm here. So thank you.
Yeah, glad to have you. And I'm Phil Chrisman, I'm the vice chair. I live in St. Pete Beach, been here a long time. Been here full time for a long time as well. I work for the city of Treasure Island now. I spent about 11 years working for St. Pete Beach. I've been in parks maintenance, streets maintenance, public works, urban forestry, kind of all of it. So I've been municipal government person for quite a while. So
Great.
nice to have you.
Thank you.
Do you want to introduce
Yeah,
yourself?
Mike Wise, I live down in the Bell Vista.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been a resident, I think we moved down here full-time about the 2018, 2017-ish timeframe. And been involved in HOAs as president of that, and sanitary improvement districts, SIDs, etc. So anyway, pleasure.
Robin Gibson, been a full-time resident for 3 years since I retired from Florida State, Director of Sports Med.
Great.
So like you, I'm just trying to find my new niche.
Right.
You know, I survived a renovation, so you'll be okay.
Yeah.
I better, my
You notice she is laughing,
builder
though.
survived the renovation.
I'm not sure mine is going to survive today because the wrong kitchen cabinet showed up.
Oh,
so
no.
We're gonna see how that goes.
Oh,
But,
no.
Man, rough.
That's rough.
Yeah.
So close, but so far away.
Yes.
So thanks, everybody, for that. The minutes, may I have any changes to the minutes or have a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting?
Changes, make the motion.
Okay.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, election of committee officers. So Steve Stewart's the chairman. If I recall, I don't think he's been here for 3 meetings. I don't think he's been to 1 meeting since I've been on the board. So I would recommend that we pick somebody else for chairman.
Well, I think it's a great idea. I want to open it for discussions, but I'd make a motion to go ahead and have Bill take over that position.
I'll second that.
Okay. All right, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. New chairman. So we need a vice chairman. First of all, is anybody interested in being vice chairman? It is not complicated. It's do what I'm doing now if I don't show up. So I'll call you in advance, though, if I can't make it. Is anybody interested in that?
No, I think the job's perfect for you, Mike. I nominate Mike.
Okay.
I'll
so
second it.
Second motion, all right. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. We have a chairman and a vice chairman for the next fiscal year. So that starts next meeting and goes through this meeting next year. Okay. So we've got those motions to appoint. Looks like we're moving on to you, Jen.
All right. Ryan, can you put up the PowerPoint? So I kind of put together a mid-year, like second quarter report for this fiscal year. The way our meetings fall, you get an end of year and mid-year. So here's where we're kind of falling in revenues. So staff-led programs, that's our after-school and summer camp programs. Good news, our summer camp is full. We have a wait list. We're kind of constrained by transportation, number of staff, and the ability for us to do so. We take just over 100 kids, and so this is the first full year, I'd say, we're kind of don't feel the effects of COVID with staff and with the kids involved in aftercare and summer camp. So that end-of-year report should, because a large number of our revenues from that account will come out of summer camp, will increase even more than what we've got here. So instructor-led programs, those are the classes that we have at the rec center. About the same as last year. Again, we're getting people back in. We're still doing blended classes, so we still do Zoom and instructor-led. So there are our Silver Sneaker classes that if you're in Maine, you can still log on, get your passcode, and still do the class. So we've been doing that since COVID hit in 2020, and we are continuing it because we have a lot of people that take advantage of that. Pool admission, we're about the same as last year. The pool definitely got a resurgence with COVID. That was the one place people felt safe going. It's like that, tennis, pickleball, all these outdoor things that kind of picked up. So we're at about 14,000 in revenue in the second quarter. And community center rentals, slightly down, although I think some of the revenue that we take in before the fiscal year hasn't been transferred over, so that's something I need to investigate a little bit more. But about every weekend we do have rentals at the community center with weddings. And then fitness center revenue, it's almost scary how much we're spot on for where we were at, but about 4,500 in that. Overall total revenue, we're at 443,000. Our expenses is just over 1 million, so our cost recovery is 42.5%. That includes parks and beaches and recreation, all three of those divisions. So overall, I think nationwide, that cost recovery is a solid number with two of those divisions that don't bring in revenue. And it all kind of comes from recreation. So any questions on any of this?
So you did say you're fully staffed for summer camp? You
Yes.
Got everybody you need? I feel like this time last year you were like scared.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
And our pool, where our lifeguards were okay.
That's awesome.
I think we will, on Tuesday, we're looking at a compensation study that we've been doing for the last year. Hired a company to come do that. Having our minimum wage at 15 for some of these positions for after school and lifeguards is huge. But you know, we're competing against places that are doing the 18. There's other cities that have raised it. So Tuesday night we're having a workshop with the commission that will look at overall our compensation and what we're paying employees in different positions, and there's going to be a recommendation from the vendor that we have hired to do this study and compared to other cities around us. So hopefully, and we discussed this even last night with planning board because we're having difficulty filling planner positions, building positions in our building department. And so we're hoping for compensation-wise, when you look at how you want to raise what we're paying people is, can you retain them at that amount so they don't leave to go somewhere else? Can you recruit them to even come walk in the door? So we need to be competitive today more than ever. I just read an article, I'm stepping this stuff, but I just read an article where there was a city in California that was doing a 4-week, 32-hour work schedule, and they've seen retention increase 40-some%. Recruitment was like 60-some%. It's the reason why people like selected to go work for that. It was San Jose County, I think it was. And so other cities and counties are kind of watching them. They're doing a 2-year look at that to see what that brings. And so I think there's going to be a lot of shifts in the next couple of years. And we have a couple positions here in the city that we do 4-day, 10-hour work days to get the 40 hours. Our beach manager, she's a 4-day, so she's there on the weekends, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and it's 4 10-days. So we've done some of those shifts, but we're kind of seeing what people are experimenting with and what works and what we could do, because recruiting and retention are huge for us, I think, right now, for any government.
For anybody.
Yep. And then a question about the rec center. You said you have rentals, of course. So if somebody were to ask me about that, are you booked out like 6 months, or does it kind of vary? Are you booked out a year
It
sometimes?
varies, and we do Friday, Saturday, Sunday rentals. So the season is typically February through June, and then we kind of break off, probably because of the weather.
Yeah.
And then we pick back up in October. And then over the holidays, it dims down a little bit, and then February it starts again. So it just depends on the time of year.
Yeah, when you had said that there was some fiscal year that wasn't come over yet.
Yeah, so when we take in, so if someone books, like right now, for 2026, the money we take now, but we hold it, it doesn't show up until our finance department pulls from the,
Gotcha. All
I
right.
don't even pretend I know where I'm talking from this holding cell to bring it over to this fiscal year.
Piggy bank. Yeah.
So that the actual rental of when the fiscal year that they're renting comes into the, so that's, when I see that lower number, I feel like we, and I know our audit hasn't been done, and we haven't got the results of that, so that might be part of that.
Thank you.
Can I ask a new guy question?
Yeah.
Fitness center, so I use it quite regularly. I enjoy it. Has there been any discussion in the past about the size of it and the amount of equipment and perhaps expanding it or anything? Has there been any of that in the past? I'm just curious, because I know it's kind of limited, and it gets really crowded really quick.
So, yes, to answer, I guess. The fitness center, you know the room you walk through, the art room to get to the fitness center? That was the fitness center.
Right.
So where it's at now was the dance room. At one point, and Mandy can attest to this, hello Mandy, there was discussion of breaking out the wall and where the stage is in the gym,
Mm-hmm.
making that a big fitness center and opening up so it was all windows looking out on the water.
Yeah.
But that's been about 10 years. So there was some talk about that. We were also looking at putting some outdoor fitness equipment outside of the fitness center to add to it when COVID happened. So we've had many different discussions with that. If we went back pre-COVID, we were almost at 15,000 in revenue, so you could see we've dropped off quite a bit. People just not wanting to go into the fitness center, and then our outdoor activities, kind of the trend we saw in rec was things outside, not inside. So we budget every year to replace fitness equipment, and we just kind of keep that in the budget to try to keep maintaining what we've got existing. So if there is something that you would like to see, if you'd let staff know that, that's how we don't earmark it for a certain piece of equipment, but we just have a dollar amount that we go to
I guess I was
replace.
just more curious on kind of what the history was, and then is there an appetite to maybe do another review to see if expanding it would help in any way? It would help, you know, people that want to use it, or help with revenues, or help with, you know, whatever. I don't know. Is it worth looking at, or having someone come in and look at? So I just put that out there as something to think about, not to necessarily act on.
We can start with the survey that we put to existing members and then put it out to the community and have our communications manager put out a survey to get feedback on what people, I think it's, we're pretty inexpensive. It's $1 if you're a resident, it's $2 if you're a non-resident, it's
Yeah.
$10 a month or $16 a month, so, well, the reason why is because that's what the fitness industry dictates. You've got your Planet Fitnesses, it's $10, $12 a month to join those, so, obviously, it's not a huge moneymaker, but it is a quality of life.
Yeah, right.
They don't have a view like we do. So
That's right.
That's true.
I always tell people the best thing about our fitness center is the city I came from, the big complaint about the fitness center was what the TV channel was and what music was being played.
Right.
And I have not even been asked to put in a TV in that fitness center in 12 years or to deal with music. I think we had a boom box at one point, and then we just took it out and people just listened to their own stuff. So just looking at the water, like, it's never even been asked, which is amazing to me, because Phil knows where I was at before, that was like the biggest complaint.
Do we have like kettlebells in there? I can't remember, I haven't been in it for a while.
I don't think there's kettlebells. There's a row of dumbbells, so.
But when it gets busy, it's probably not, you're not gonna be able to swing stuff.
Yeah,
It's-
that's
it's
the
kind of everybody's
issue.
on top of each other.
If there's really more than 6 people in there who are not on the treadmills and they're
Mhm.
trying to do weight stuff, it's almost, you know, intolerable. But I mean, it's fantastic for what it is. That's why I was just wondering, you know, if there was worth.
There was a big plan, and like I said, it expanded that wall. Like, if you go out that door in the fitness center, it connects to the gymnasium, and then it's the stage. There was
Yeah.
a grandiose plan at one point by one of our city managers to do that. It would be cool.
Yeah. Well, that's a pretty old building by now, though. I mean,
The gym, yeah, that side.
it's in the original rec center part, and then the new one was built after that. But it's a great idea, though. I love the idea of that, because I would guess the stage isn't really used that much anymore. I mean, do you have plays in there still once in a while, or?
Plays, no. We use it almost as another program room. The kids
Okay.
put tables up there, and we'll do crafts and
Gotcha.
projects when it's aftercare and camp.
Yeah.
So it's kind of almost used as a rotation.
Yeah.
So while pickleball's going on, our kids can still be up on that stage doing some activities. So I think we've even used it. We've got a reading nook in there and some other stuff, but yeah. So, no, we can relook at that for sure.
Okay, well, thank you for that report. Is that all you had for that?
For that, revenues, now let's go into programming report.
Okay,
Oh,
programming.
yeah, we're
Okay,
not
very
done.
good.
Stop. 75 kids, so we are licensed for 125. Like I said, we're finally creeping back up to where we're getting our after-school and summer camp where we need it. Our day out camp, so that's when it's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, we're at 30 kids averaging, which is nice. For a while, we were getting under 10, so it makes it worthwhile to be able to offer that. Silver Sneakers, I think that's what the enrollment is for monthly members, punch card members. We average 5,000 visits. So we get about $8,000 for the quarter in just Silver Sneaker reimbursement. So that's our seniors using our fitness center, our classes using pickleball and things like that, that we get reimbursed by the Silver Sneaker and other insurance programs out there for the quarter. We hosted music in the afternoons we switched it up. We were doing those on Sundays. We did them on Fridays. community-wide yard sale, we had a spring concert series where we did tribute bands once a month. And then we had an underwater egg hunt the very end of the quarter, March 30th. I think that's in the aquatics report. Staff-led programs for the third quarter at 71, which we've talked about before. And then we had a men's basketball league where we had 7 teams that participated in that. '85 participants in the underwater egg hunt. You'd see that picture. We teamed up with the fire department a few years ago, and they take out the ladder truck and they drop the eggs into the pool, which we don't know why we didn't think of this a lot sooner, because before it would just be us like throwing eggs in the pool and they would all clump together. This is way cooler. So they will drop the eggs and the kids go in through and get a lot of eggs. And then we had some, we are a tree city, as you probably saw as you entered in the building. So we had an Earth Day celebration. We gave out trees at the same event in the park. How many trees did we have?
About 120.
So trees, plants, we also had seeds that you could take to plant different plants as well. I know I took a few, we've got some growing, so we do that as part of our Tree City designation, where you do tree giveaways. We designate Earth Day, right? Earth Day or Tree? Arbor Day, that's what I meant. Trees. We did that at that same event too, and the Easter Bunny was out. And then our daily admission at the pool for the quarter was just over 5,000. Community center rentals for the second quarter, we had 14 weddings. Warren Webster, we had 6. Currently, the Warren Webster is closed due to some mold remediation that we will be hopefully finalizing here in the next couple weeks, and that opens back up. And then some other rental revenues through Mary Pier, concessions, cabanas, the Paso Girl patio, Suntan rents the Don Vista building, our pool rentals, and the Warren Webster. So it kind of gives you a snapshot of what our cabanas. We took over, and I think we talked about this in November because we just took it over, the Pinellas County Beach access. We took over their cabana service, as they pay the city directly, not the county anymore. It's our same vendor that we have at Upham and Paso Girl, so it was an easy transition. But that in essence doubled our revenue in cabana rentals that we receive just based on taking over that contract.
So the suntan rents part of that Don Vista, do you still do any rentals at the Don Vista, or is that something that?
So yes, our memorandum of understanding with Suntan is we handle all the rentals of that building. Before Suntan handled rentals, they are run by volunteers. It was very difficult for them to do it. So we took over renting the building. We just work directly with them to make sure we're not stepping on their toes, or if they aren't doing a showing or anything part of their operations. So we just work closely with them, but we handle any of the contracts and the revenue that's directly related with that, and gives us some control, since we have to report to the National Park Service the usage of that building for recreational purposes. So it just gives us a little more control. So we changed that when we updated our MOU with them recently. And then they rent the Paso Girl patio, where you see that rental is when they do their vendor market down in Paso Girl by the concessions on the weekends. That's very rarely do we get someone who wants to rent that to do like their own reception or I guess party on that patio. So really the money that comes from that patio is coming from Suntan as well. Five tree permits this quarter. Some significant projects completed by the staff this quarter. A lot of tree trimming throughout the city, but specifically Egan Park. Landscape operations. You saw the wall that's been erected over here across the street by Public Works in the community center. All the plants to kind of shield that wall was done internally with our own staff, as well as irrigation and improving that site. Pass-a-Girl alleyways, we did a lot of work within the alleys to make way for waste connection trucks to access those, to be able to do garbage cleanup. Of course, once we did all that and cleaned it up, the county came in and started a reclaim project in the alleyways to where the trucks can't come down until they're done with that project, but the trees are trimmed. We removed sand from 9th to 1st Avenue, which was still left over from a few of the storms over the summer and into the fall. We added a sand barrier to the dog beach, and there's some rope and posts that were put there as well. During the dune renourishment, we had to tear down our drive-overs and up them. So those were ripped out, and then we replaced it with some post and rope to give a drive-over to up them. The party under the lights, if any of you guys went last Saturday to the 8th Avenue block party, if you noticed beautiful lights over the street, they were replaced by our parks crew. Just recently, that was a really resident-driven initiative that started in 2012, I believe, early 2012. And the lights were not turtle-friendly. They weren't, a lot of them were going out just to LED. So they asked our staff if we could go in there and replace them and kind of take over maintaining the lights. Up until this point, it's been done by residents. So, so if you see any pictures on social about it, it's Mandy's guys take credit. That's why she comes. She just wants pats on the back. Shelling. So if you saw where the old Christmas store is in the corner of 75th and Gulf Boulevard, those lots have been shelled. They've been roped and put post, and there is some silver buttonwoods, I believe, that are going around that. That is shared parking that is used most times during Sunday or whenever Corey Avenue has some, but we improved the look of that, and that was done internally where we provided the shell to improve the beautification of those two lots.
Hey, Jim, what's the lease on that piece of property? How long is that for?
For the 75th, the shared parking. It's not a lease, it's a year agreement, shared parking agreement, that as long as the two parties agree at the end of the year to continue, we will. So it's done through the app, just like it would be if you were going to a meter. If someone parks there, it's a 50-50 split. The hope is, to the people that own it, is to eventually build out that whole block by buying Don't Tell Mama, which is between the two, and be able to develop that whole lot. And so this is just a way for them and us to make it a little more appealing visually. Both make not like a ton of money, but at least to get some revenue from both sides and make the improvement that is existing. I would hope it wouldn't be too long, but it all depends on if they're able to acquire that property in between. Grade and reshelled Egan parking lot. Remove landscaping from the mini parks at 76th, 77th Gulf Boulevard. Installed new landscaping will be happening in this quarter. And tree trimming, bench replacements along the seawall and Pass-a-Girl. We just got a great note from a resident on 78th, We just, I think on one of my slides, we'll get into some park improvements. The Parks Department focused on our mini parks at the street ends in District 1 and redid all of them. And huge improvements, and we've been getting some great comments by residents that live in those areas. I think we'll get to that here. As far as our beaches, in case you didn't know, we have these little baskets that are at different locations throughout the beach where we ask for people to do beach cleanups. There's a QR code, which you can kind of see on the sign, and when people return the baskets, they can go to the QR code. They put their name, the date, and the number of baskets they filled up, and so we're keeping track of how many volunteer baskets are being cleaned up on our beaches. So it's a pretty cool thing. When we put this in two years ago, it even was in the paper in New Zealand. So it caught on for people to do these. The problem is these baskets, people think they go to Publix or Walgreens, and sometimes they leave, and we're replacing them quite a bit. But they are pretty cool. We have a volunteer group, the Dune Savers, that on Fridays go out and pull invasive plants from a lot of our dunes. It is operated by our chair of our beach stewardship and his wife, the Roethlisbergers, that meet at different locations. If you go to the city's website on our beach page, you'll get the information on that. If anybody's interested, or if you know somebody who would like to volunteer to do some of this. Eventually, I think we're going to mold that into an ambassadors group that will also try to replant some sea oats once we get invasives out and try to help with some of our own dune renourishment. So this started in this quarter, I would say, and just at the last beach stewardship meeting last week, the formation of an ambassadors group discussion started to try to, have them with certain shirts so it's identifiable, so they can make sure people know that it's sea turtle season. To your sandcastle's great, but make sure you knock it down. Let's not leave holes. Kind of be an ambassador for our beaches. So we've had a few beach cleanups, as you can see. The Keep Pinellas Beautiful, we received an Outstanding City Partner Award, which I think the trophy is in the upstairs lobby here at City Hall. And then we had a Girl Scout merit badge who installed new toy box in Pass-A-Grill. So what we experience, or I don't say we, our beach crew that rakes the beaches in the morning, they encounter tents, lounge chairs, all kinds of things that are just left because people are leaving town, they're flying back, and they don't have any use for it anymore. And just any toys. So this is where we can put some of those things so people can reuse those. Yeah, and people go to Walgreens and Publix right there at the Dolphin area, and they go on the beach, and then they leave town, and I'm not taking my sandcastle building thing. So that's been added. So that was, we got a lot of good social media presence with some of that promotion of what she did there. So, and just some special events that happened specifically on the beach are listed there. We did get a lot of questions about this Mind Travel silent concert. So it's a group that's out of California that actually does a piano concert and some other music where it's all done by headphones, so you don't hear the music, but everybody there is listening to the same thing. So I had some people taking pictures like, what is this?
I was one of those people. I thought they were all tripping.
Yeah.
I happened to be at the beach and go, what in the world is going on?
I mean, it was like a weird request, right?
We walked by him, and I was like, what is going on
I know.
here?
Yeah.
Is it me or them?
Some kind of hippie yoga music thing going on.
Yep.
They actually have headphones. You go to places and you put them on, and they have different lights, and everybody gets in a different channel.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're listening to something else, and I'm listening to, and everybody's dancing at
Yeah.
Different musics.
crazy.
Silent disco.
Yeah.
That's great.
Silent
Downtown
disco.
every, yep.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
It's been working. It was a weird request, but it's like with all the noise complaints I get, I kind of was welcoming it, as weird as it looks, but it's not bothering anybody really. So we've had a couple of those, and it just gives you the number of beach weddings also that we've had on the beach. And then the St. Pete Beach Classic, which is the last year they ran that race, sadly, after almost 20 years, I'd say. That was the last year that the St. Pete Beach Classic is going to occur. So total revenue on this quarter for events and weddings was around $23,000. So
Why is the race not happening again?
the organizer, Al Johnson, who started it, no
Yeah.
longer wanting to continue.
Okay.
Nobody wanted to pick it up from him? It's a big to-do. I
If
know.
anybody would like to pick it up, they can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Onward.
it is a lot of work to be a race director.
Anything anymore when it comes to events and any event organizer, the cost when it comes to fire and police have increased so exponentially based on safety and just what's occurred in this world. It's better safe than sorry, but the dollar amounts associated with each of those sometimes doesn't make it worth doing so. Projects and events upcoming. So I talked about the mini parks. We have a Hurricane Expo June 1st at the community center. So I do want to kind of spread the word so you can tell your neighbors. That Hurricane Expo will be on June 1st, 10 to noon. We have Jeff Baradelli, the meteorologist, chief meteorologist out of Channel 8, will also be there. We have a lot of vendors. We have the Sea Turtle Trackers. We have another advocacy group that will also be a vendor. We're full with vendors. And then as a note for anybody, and we can't stress this enough, we have sandbags at Egan Park year-round. All year, we have sand in the bags there. It's a self-service. When storms are approaching, we order more sand, so there is more sand. But we're just encouraging people as we start off with hurricane season starting June 1st to fill those bags up now so you're not scrambling right before. Keep them on the side of your house, in your garage, wherever you need to do it. But just know those are year-round at Egan. We kind of designed a certain area where we can keep that. So just kind of keep June 1st. Also, your reentry passes are good year after year. So if you do have your reentry pass to get back onto the beach after a hurricane, after evacuation, you could still use that. If you don't have one, come here to City Hall to pick that up or go to either of our fire stations. So I just encourage people, so the line, inevitably we'll have a line at Egan and we'll have a line here for reentry passes and sandbags, but just trying to encourage people to do that beforehand.
Jen, is our primary outreach via the website and app? Is that pretty much how we get the word out to people?
The biggest, to me, the best thing to do is to sign up for our newsletter that goes out every week. And everything you need to know that's happening in the next week in our city is on there, from upcoming meetings, upcoming events. When it comes time for storms, we do it in every way possible. We have a website where it's the scrolling thing on the front page. We do our social media. We will do any type of press release. We tag on with Pinellas County oftentimes because we're part of their EOC. So any way possible is how we get the word out.
How do we, if you get somebody new to the community, how do they kind of become aware of this? I mean, do we do any mailings per se? Hey, you know, if you're looking for information, sign up for the... It's intuitive that people go, well, let's go to St. Pete Beach website, right? But
The website sometimes isn't,
user-friendly. It's very user-friendly, but it's not where I'm going to go just to get my data, right? It's like the outreach on the newsletter is phenomenal, right?
the newsletter is, to me, because I review it every week before we post it. I make sure what's pertinent's out there. Like, we're already starting to tote July 4th stuff. And, you know, there's been a lot of important meetings happening, so we're trying our best to push things out. This upcoming 2 weeks, we've got, tomorrow night's a District 3 town hall. We have a boat ramp town hall next week. We're going to be having comp plan meetings, workshops that are going to be happening. There's a lot of big things happening, I'd say, in the next 6 months, but really in the next 3 months. We have a new city manager starting July 8th. So the way to be connected is obviously like our Facebook and Instagram pages, but also sign up for that weekly newsletter, because what you need to know is in that weekly newsletter. I hate to rely on social media, but we have to use that. So there's a picture here that was taken Friday. That's our new playground at Horan Park that we got installed. We are hoping to add a shade structure to that in the next year, but that was replaced and well received by our kids and myself and another staff member that went down the slide on Friday at a graduation party. So summer camp is starting, and like I told you, we are full and on a wait list. Our 4th of July fireworks are on the 4th of July. It will be done, the fireworks will be shot off here at the east end of Corey. We have a viewing party in Horan Park. It's also a fundraiser for the vets of South Pinellas. They will be selling beer and wine. We will have some food options. We'll also be blocking off part of Corey Avenue, so the Corey Avenue businesses will also kind of host a viewing party there as well. The fireworks go off at dark, which every year is 9 o'clock. And they're about 27 minutes long, I think is what we have in store, so we're excited for that. There is a new buyer for that east end of Corey, as a side note, because I think we had talked about the previous buyer, because we were going to be adding a new park over there. I think a similar design is going to come back to us, hopefully, if all pans out with that purchase and development, to where they come back to the city with a plan that we start that process all over again. So we still are keeping bookmarking in our CIP budget to have docks at Horan Park, and to somehow connect, if we ever do develop the east end of Corey and Horan Park, with some type of under the bridge boardwalk, so to speak. So we're still earmarking money in there, so if we do have to apply for grants, it's there, and we can show that when we apply for grants. We're still dreaming.
So does the city own that big green space over there then? Or?
We own the street end,
Okay.
but the whole parcel is not owned by us. We owned, if you literally drive all the way down Corey Avenue to the very end where you're seeing a laydown yard for some of our projects.
Right.
That portion of it we own. So the development would be on majority of the empty space here to the south, and then the bit north of the street end is also part of that property.
Okay.
So it would be a mixed-use development through a company that's just developed some projects in St. Pete, downtown St. Pete. So hopefully more to come on that soon, and I think tomorrow or Friday we have a meeting with the Winn-Dixie owners. So I'm excited to hear what's in store for that one. I don't know what it is, so more to come on that.
Yeah. And where did you say they shoot the fireworks off again?
The very end of the street.
Very end, so same place.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
So you're, what district are you in?
2.
So you should be able to see them from your house,
Yeah.
most likely. And depending on where you're in Bell Vista, you should be able to see them. Phil, you could see them, I'm sure, too. Yeah. There are fireworks this weekend. Trade Winds is doing them on Memorial Day, just in case you want to
Yeah.
know.
Won't be able to miss those.
With that, I think I, in the presentation, updated on park enhancements throughout the city. Egan Park is still slated in our CIP. We are reaching out to HAF, which is an engineering firm that we're hoping to have a more complete design to bring to commission to approve, for them to have us kind of move forward and know what to budget. So that park, tentatively, the vision is to take down the fence of the big field, reconfigure the tennis courts so they face north-south, not east-west, add 6 pickleball courts, dedicated pickleball courts, and rearrange parking in the boat ramp and the traffic flow. So we have a design that was done by an architecture, but we don't have the engineering drawings and the stormwater and things of that nature. So that's what we're working on, and hopefully to complete in this fiscal year, and then get the right dollar amount to put into next year's budget. So with that, is there any questions?
Well, thank you for that report. Is there any questions or any just general comments from the committee?
I noticed in the last minutes, there was a Parks and Recs master plan that's in work. Is that still being worked on?
I have a proposal from one of our firms that we work with. I'm waiting for a new city manager to move that forward.
Okay.
Yeah, we've kind of been in a stall on some things of just what vision the next city manager wants to bring us. So I do have a proposal in front of me, and when someone's ready to pull the trigger, I'm ready to go with it. We do have money in the budget to get it done. So
Any other comments about anything? I do have one question, possibly comment. You mentioned our beach manager, and you also mentioned turtle season a couple times. So it's obviously turtle season, and,
Yep.
and we have turtle folks that go out there as well, right? And does she coordinate? Our beach manager?
Ayako is our beach manager. She works with the sea turtle trackers. Mandy is in daily contact with sea turtle trackers, because when they're done, they let our crew know when they could start raking.
Okay.
So our operation's delayed during sea turtle tracker season because we're not waiting to get out there. We wait until they're done doing their assessment before we go out, so.
Yeah, because I know that there's also good outreach for the lighting as well. Does our beach manager talk to people? Do we have flyers or anything that we give to hotels and condos?
Code enforcement. So the last week in April, before turtle season happened, our code enforcement went out with the sea turtle trackers. They identified anybody who was non-compliant, and there's even we have our own lights that city owns, by a flag at Hurley Park that we had to just address, and one of our concessions. So they informed us to make those changes, but all condos and hotels as well. They get they get a notice from code enforcement that hand delivers them and talks to the appropriate people to make sure that they make those adjustments.
Sounds good. And the only other thing too is I know we have really good signage on our public walkovers for whatever, all the rules and things. Sometimes I know when I talk to people that are staying in hotels, they don't always have the information that they might need for beach going. Turtles and dogs too. You talk to a dog owner, like, wow, there's no signs anywhere. It's like, yeah, they're all over the place, but a lot of them come out of hotels. So I'm thinking maybe, with what time you have, there's some outreach to hotel managers to at least let people know that some of the rules that we need.
So the chamber just put out, and actually when you walk out, there's little cards that they gave to all the hotels, and it's all about turtle season, about the lights, about the holes, basically leave your footprint. So they initiated that. I am in a hotelier meeting with all the hotels every other month. So we discussed that at the last meeting. The chamber delivered those postcards. And like I said, we have them right at our front desk out here. That was distributed so they can hand and have at their concierge and to be able to give to the hotels, people staying at them.
Perfect.
It's just one of those things, it's like people pushing the lights when they cross the street.
Yeah. Please do
Just,
it.
like, how can we push that messaging and make it stick?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I appreciate it. I was just curious.
Yeah, so we did do strives, and the chamber did do that for this season. I don't know what the impact is, but not only did they did it for our beaches, they did it up and down, because they're the chamber for all the beach communities. So they printed a lot.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And if there isn't any other comments, I think we adjourn the meeting. Meeting adjourned.